Hey everyone, Chris, the Thrift Shop Hustler, going to go live to show you guys what sold on eBay this week. Hope everyone had an amazing weekend. Right now it is Sunday night, and we're going to go over some of the sales I had over the last couple days. Some of these are definitely some of the highlights of the sales that I had, and we're going to go over a lot of these things sort of in depth. So I want to wish everyone a happy Sunday. Hope everyone's weekend was good. I'm Chris, a Thrift Shop Hustler. If you're not subscribed to this channel, please click the subscribe button below. Click the bell if you want to get updates. Some of you might have got updates for this video going live. So we are live. And let's get into what sold on eBay this week. First up, we have this Nintendo Wii U console. This is the 8 GB version. This is also the white version. What was cool about this is I found this at a local thrift shop. I came in one day. I got a phone call about something, and they were like, "Oh, you want to look through these other boxes?" I found this. I offered them $40 for this, and took it home. Now the thing was, I had to buy this power adapter, and there was like a secondary power adapter, which I can't believe I didn't take a photo of that. Hold on one second, I will find the photo of that. So here, okay, so here we go. So I had to buy the main power unit separate, and the power unit that charges the little controller here. So that was an extra $20 spent. So I was in this $60, which isn't, you know, a super deal, but you know, these things go for around $150 to $200. $200 is kind of high, but I've seen these sell for that high. It also came with games, which one of the kind of things that I do when I buy game lots is I we got some people in the chat. Oh, Shiny saying, "Who needs sleep, right?" And Tracy Thrifty is here. Hello, everyone. That's too funny. Like, I was like, why don't I just do a video since I have some time, and I'm kind of waiting till 12 midnight so I can upload some more merch, t-shirt designs, so I don't have to do that later. So, anyways, welcome. So this Nintendo Wii unit, I took a best offer for this. I think it was like $120 plus $17.99 shipping. So it was one of those things where I had to buy some of the extra items for it to be complete. It did come with a manual, came with the sensor bar, and the huge controller. Everything was in pretty good condition. And so, like I said, what was cool about this collection, it was purchased for $40, and it did come with extra games. And that's what I was getting into was. What I do is when I buy collections, I'll put all the games to the side till I have like 30 or 40 games, and then I'll put up a whole lot of a system and the games, and I'll sell that like that. And I do that maybe a few times a year, where I'll purge some of the collections like that. I'm kind of a weird guy when it comes to the games and stuff. I like to buy huge lots from this one person that gives me a call, and that's what's pretty cool too. Is, you know, they'll give me a call and I'll go in and just kind of sort through stuff and give them an offer, and they usually pretty much take it. And so yeah, I'll put a bunch of all my game stuff in boxes and in totes, and then I go through at a later date and make lots. So this was a pretty good sale. Anyways, I didn't get $199 for this. I took a best offer for $120 plus $17.99 shipping, and this will ship tomorrow. Next up, we have this Motorola MicroTac Select 6000E flip cell phone with battery, movie prop, 90s. Now, I give a shout out to 19th Vintage, who is surprisingly not here in the chat, and he gave me the tip about putting movie prop in the titles, because I guess there's a lot of people that buy movie props for movies and stuff like that, and this doesn't work. I couldn't test it. I actually paid $5 for this, So I pretty much made like a couple dollars on this, but the whole thing was when I bought it, it came with a charger and a booklet and everything, and so it was all bundled in a Ziploc bag. So the price had $5 on it. I didn't really open it up and look at it and really like look at it, but when I took it home and I looked at it, it was the booklet was from the wrong phone, which I might sell the booklet later. I haven't listed it yet. It's for another old Motorola. So those booklets can go for like $10 to if you sell it to the right person. And the antenna was missing, and so what I did, and and by the way, the charger was like falling apart too. So it was so old that the plastic was crumbling and all that stuff. Donna Thomas said, "Sold nothing today. Just keep listing, keep changing up your keywords and your title, and definitely go on Twitter and post your one of the things I want to tell you guys right now, and this is kind of a pro tip, and I don't know if it really helps or not, but I guess it does. There's 3 things you can do when you're listing your stuff and you're done listing. When it prompts you to say, put on Twitter or go on Pinterest, start a Pinterest board that's for eBay, put your stuff in there. Go when you do a Twitter thing, copy and paste the Twitter thing, go into Twitter, paste it in your Twitter feed, and put one of the photos that you uploaded into. Oh, there's 19 Vintage. He's in the house, man. I told you, man. I was just telling them about the movie prop. That was a great tip from you, and I've been using that over the last every time I get something funky like this, I'll put that in there. But anyways, so what I was saying, I don't even remember. Anyways, Motorola MicroTac. Tracy Siff says he's sold 12 items today. Very good, very good. So anyways, this oh, that's what I was saying. So I bought this as a huge bundle for like $5, and I thought I scored, but the charger was so old that it was brittle and starting to fall apart. So what did I do? I've seen that the batteries on these older Motorola phones, let me see if I can show you. You can pop these batteries off, and if you got a charger and you can test these out, you can actually sell the batteries alone for like $10 to $15. Some of the batteries, even some of the batteries just alone go for a pretty good amount of money. And that was one of the things what I was going to do, but I said, you know what, let me try something. I used the old 19 Vintage trick, and it worked. I sold this in less than 24 hours with that tip. So oh yeah, Praisey Bradley saying sharing your listings on Pinterest, etc. Yeah, you definitely got to do that. And there was another thing too. I guess you can go on to eBay's Facebook page, and you can post auctions in there too. And I guess your limit is 5 a day, so you can go in there and just post your listings in there. I've noticed that sometimes some of that stuff sells too. So let's get into the next item here. I actually had a pretty good weekend. Next up is this vintage R Gang Rough Riders lot. These things are in mint condition, pretty much brand new. These are from Japan, and you might look at these, and when I first saw these, what was the first thing you probably thought, if anyone who collects toys and sees this? I'll wait a minute for the chat. Yes, Tonka. These are not Tonka. I thought these were Tonka. And as a matter of fact, these actually came with a lot of Tonkas, also little Tonkas. I had to do some pretty crazy research on this, and to find out that R Gang Rough Road Riders, that's what they're called. R Gang, I guess, is like, like, oh, R Gang is the brand, like Tonka's the brand, so R Gang is a brand. These were manufactured in Japan. These were sold, they had like weird, like, not like Walgreens, but like sort of like, it looked like they were sold at like a mom and pop store like in the 70s. These are either from mid 70s to early 80s. I want to guess these at, but these were in amazing condition. There was a great story with these. Yeah, they're exactly the same thing. I wouldn't be surprised if Tonka, they were, because Tonka's kind of like, I think Tonka's actually like a Japanese name, if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, the crazy story with this is, I've told this story before. I bought this in a lot, and it had Hot Wheel red lines, 2 Hot Wheel red lines that were in the packages, and I sold one of them for $400 and the other one for $500. So that was the main reason why I bought this collection, was I saw that in this bundle there was these Hot Wheel red lines hidden. But anyways, I've been trying to piece these out. There's some Tonka stuff I still have listed, and I can show you guys real quick. You know, this is what they look like. The boxes were actually in pretty good condition. As you can see, the pieces were actually in mint condition. You're not going to see trucks like this in mint condition. If these were Tonkas, oh, see, so it's like Dayton's. This is what I was showing you. It's an old sticker. These sold for $199. I thought these would have sold really fast, but they didn't. These took forever to sell, and I think I took a best offer for like $44 for this plus $11.99 shipping. So these will be shipping out. Definitely look out for older cars like this. There's a lot of people that buy the junk Tonkas like this at garage sales that are all like rusted and beat up. The little ones, the little ones, to be honest with you, aren't worth that much in Tonka. So that's actually another kind of pro tip. Oh yeah, so like 19 vintage. What I meant by Tonka is I think the actually name Tonka might be Japanese derivative, but you know, what do I know? I'm glad you guys are here. So let's get on to the next one. Yeah, Redline tires. Basically, for anyone that doesn't know, I'll leave a link up here, and hopefully I'll remember to come back and post it. I did a Know Your Stuff on Hot Wheels. We talked about Redlines. Redlines, I think, were, Paisley Bradley says 68. I think it was 67. I could be wrong. And I think she's pretty much on the spot about, I think it was around 1977. They had a line on, so if you find Hot Wheels that have a red line in the wheel, those are red lines. They made massive amounts of reproductions, so don't just go off of that thinking that you found gold. There's ways to kind of look at them. You have to be in the Hot Wheels niche to kind of know how to tell apart like repos from, even people restore them and stuff like that. So you got to watch out for all that kind of stuff. Yeah, vintage is saying 68 to 77, so definitely that was the time era for sure. Next up, we have this David Bowie vintage 70s Ziggy Stardust black t-shirt, and of course I did all the crazy keywords on this. I took a best offer for $10 for this plus $5.99 shipping. This was a shirt that I got a phone call from a person at a thrift store saying they had a bunch of stuff in. I went in there and they had like a ton of shirts just piled up that they didn't even go through. So I asked them if I can go through the shirts. I went through them. I found this one, and I found a vintage Guns N' Roses shirt, and I asked them if they'd take $1 for them, and they said sure. The only thing with this one is it was pretty beat up, and of course I put it, you know, in the title description that these are beat up. And it's funny because there's a whole, hey, Jason Vaughn, thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate that. Huge shout out to Jason Vaughn for the $2 super chat. That's amazing. I can actually buy, I could have bought 2 shirts with that $2. So definitely thank you very much, Jason Vaughn. I didn't even expect, to be honest with you guys, I didn't even expect anyone to be up this late watching this live show. I thought, you know, I'm going to do a What's Sold on eBay video. Why don't I do it live, just see what happens. And wow, you guys are coming through. Thank you very much, Jason Vaughn, for the super chat. Back to the shirts. Pile of shirts. Asked them if they'd take $1 for it. They said yes, and that's what happened. Hello, Popular Picker. He's saying hello all to the chat. Welcome, welcome. We're going over what's sold on eBay this week. Next up is a really cool item. It's a Nirvana 1991 press. This was actually an original CD that came out in the 90s. They did a bunch of reissues and stuff like that over the years. This one, I did some research on Discogs, and I'm planning on doing a video on Discogs eventually. Maybe I'll do it this week. Discogs is a place where you can look up serial numbers on records to see what their prices are. And as you can see, this one has a serial number right here, and I was able to look this up in Discogs, and sure enough, this was the 1991 version, and there's a baby penis right there. Oh my god, I love this album. This is like one of the most iconic rock album or whatever, you know, music albums of all time for sure. Anyways, I listed this one for $100 because it was rare, just to see. I do a high-low theory when there's stuff that's kind of rare that doesn't have great what do you call it, great like comps or anything. I'll start it high and then I'll work it down eventually. So no. So yeah, this is a sealed. By the way, this is a sealed one. This isn't just a loose one. This is actually sealed. I'll show you what the top looks like. As you can see, beautifully sealed, brand new. And when I saw this at the thrift store, I jumped for joy because I thought, like, not only is it, Nirvana, of course, but I know that it was an older one. And for $2, I took, I want to say I took a best offer for 25 on this, which is still pretty good. It's probably worth way more than that, but one of those things, I bought it for 2. The whole point of eBay is you want to shuffle through your merchandise. And I don't know if you guys know, but some of the inside ball with people that actually know people from eBay is they say that the one of the main metrics that they look at when you go and search for something, and it shows, and you sort by best offer, which is the default. Those top ones are people that shuffle through their merchandise rather quickly. So definitely you want to list something and you want it to sell in a relatively fast amount of time. People that have a ton of stuff in their inventory that's they're sitting on for a long time, it's not moving. eBay kind of looks at that negatively. So this is kind of tinfoil hatting, but that's what I heard. These are people that this is third party information. I'm telling you, might not be true, might be a rumor, but these people I trust, and they are in deep with the eBay people. So that's just, I guess, whatever, use it for whatever you want. Next up we have this Ren and Stimpy, I always have a hard time saying this word, Spumco, and it's a John Crisafulli. He's the creator of Ren and Stimpy. Anyways, you guys have probably seen this before. Last week or last eBay show, I told you that I purchased a box of these for $1. I saw them at the thrift store, and they're pencil toppers. And this one happens to be a Soda Pop from the Jimmy the Idiot cartoon series, comic book series. Paid $1 for these. I knew that these were rare, and there was other versions too. And so I bought a whole box of them, and there was like maybe 10 of each style, and there was 3 different styles. So that was a good pickup. I've sold these as high as $24.99, and I've sold these as low as $13 plus $1.99 shipping. So this is definitely one of those gut feelings. I did not search comps, even though if I would have searched comps, I would have not found these, because these are vintage 90s stuff. And on gut, I saw these. I knew they looked like the Ren and Stimpy genre, but I didn't know exactly who this was, so I just bought them on a whim, and it was a pretty good pickup. Tracy Thrift says, okay, I need to know something. Go ahead, ask your questions. Put question marks in the chat if you have a question about any of this kind of stuff. I will gladly answer it, and we'll do that. So next up, anyway, so this was a good find. Sold 3 of these so far, like I said, as high as 25, as low as 13. Not a bad. We also sold another Peel magazine. On my last week's show, I talked about the graffiti culture, the sticker culture, the Banksy culture. I was in that kind of stuff back in the early 2000s, mid 2000s. I was an artist. I did stickers. I've had stuff in magazines. I've had my work in books and things like that. So a lot of people don't really know about that. With the whole thrift shop hustler persona is a whole different persona from my Evilos persona. And so, I had a bunch of this stuff. I knew the Dave and Holly who created this magazine. Were good friends. And unfortunately, it wasn't popular enough to keep going. And basically, they folded shop, and they asked me if I wanted to buy some of the magazines that they had left over on closeout. I said, sure. So I pretty much picked up all the rest of their back issues for like $2 each. I should put some of these on Amazon. I'm pretty sure they would sell. I haven't done that. And so, yeah. Let me look at some of the chat here. We got 19 Vidges said Powdered Toast Man. I used to love to draw Powdered Toast Man. As a matter of fact, I almost had a job working on SpongeBob SquarePants in Burbank here, and that's a whole other story. And it's actually a pretty... Well, I guess I could tell you guys a story. When I was a senior in high school, I was in an animation class, I was top of my class with another couple guys. We got an offer to be able to go to Nickelodeon and internship with some of the head cartoonists there. And this was still back in the day when they used digital wasn't really a thing. Digital was just starting to like Toy Story was almost about to come out and all this kind of stuff. So anyways, I was young, dumb, party animal, I didn't want to do any of that. But anyways, they took us around this internship and they were showing us this stupid like character they were drawing, and I'm thinking in my head like, this is so completely stupid. Who's ever gonna want to watch this? Guess what it was? It was SpongeBob SquarePants. I was clowning on SpongeBob SquarePants before it even came out, and thinking like, who is gonna watch a show about a stupid sponge who lives underwater? Anyways, I didn't take the job because I thought it was completely stupid. I'd rather go skateboarding and hang out with my friends. So I totally missed probably an amazing opportunity to be with Nickelodeon and to be an artist and be. The job was an internship for assistant to the lead artist, so it was a pretty good gig. I effed it up, whatever. That's another regret I have in my life. Can't do anything about it now. It's a good story to share with the younger generation and people that give a shit. So, anyways, that's my SpongeBob story. Let me see here. So yeah, Peel Magazine. Definitely look out for graffiti culture stuff. You can find graffiti magazines sometimes, especially like in New York, in California. You can find some graffiti magazines at garage sales and stuff like that. Definitely pick them up if you can find them for a quarter or a dollar. You definitely want to pick that up. Let's look in the chat real quick. Paisley Bradley saying she still watches SpongeBob. Yeah, my kids watch SpongeBob still. Oh, Shiny saying I'm watching some previous videos of what sold of some of your creative stuff you do, which is awesome. Yeah, thanks. I call it in this genre I call it private label, but I do custom toys and I repaint them and stuff like that. And I actually did pretty well on them. And like if you Google my name and all that stuff, you can find all that crap. But anyways, oh Shiny, thank you. Definitely I appreciate that. Jason Vaughn saying sold the dog show board game from the 80s today. Congratulations. Right on. So yeah, graffiti culture. Check it out. Next up we have Ringo. You know what's funny is I'm still selling those 1,200 DVDs. I bought a collection of 1,200 DVDs. I've told this to you guys a million times. Those that have watched the show. Still going through those. I'm going to be actually hitting those hard this week. They're all, I can't even explain it. Like they're all in cases. No, they're all in soft sleeves, and then the inserts are all separated. So I have to buy brand new cases to match up the DVDs with the sleeves. And so that's what I did with a lot of these things. It's a crazy, like I should have made a video just basically telling you guys about that whole situation with the DVDs, and maybe I could still do it. But anyways, I'm still selling them. I wanted to post this to show you guys that DVDs are still selling. Horror movies do amazingly well. Jason Vaughn's asking how many listings I have. Right now I have, I want to say like 375 or 350. I was trying to go for 500, but every time I get to that 500 level, people keep buying. And I mean, it's not a bad thing. Like I want that, but every time I try to ramp up my eBay store, people buy. So I guess that's a thing, you want to keep listing every single day if you can. Just like merch by Amazon that I'm a part of, you want to, put those designs up every day. So there's definitely that. Tracy Thrift says she sells Blu-ray, DVD pretty often. It's a good niche, especially if you can get them for $1. There's a lot of, when I bought that 1,200 CD collection or DVD collection, I went through every single sleeve and I scanned every barcode, and I put to the side everything that was $10 or higher and just listed those first. But I got a ton of TV shows, a ton of amazing movies that need to just be bundled together. There's a lady that was asking to buy them who's a reseller, and I don't know if she's going to want the price that I'm going to charge, because I think this person is going to want them for cheap because they have an eBay store. And Tracy says she sells most with no code. I don't know what that means. No barcode. please let me know and I'll bounce back. But anyways, I want to show you guys this auction because look at the title. It's like literally missing a bunch of keywords. I could have put like Japanese horror. I could have put monster. I could have put a ton of different words in here. So definitely, if your guys are doing titles, definitely fill up all available space. You definitely want to do that. And that's the main reason why I want to show you. I would bore you guys to death if I showed you all the DVDs that I sell. Next up, we have this production pot, and what this is you put like pewter inside of it, and it heats it up. It's like a smelting device. It heats it up, and then you pull on a little crank. I don't know if I actually put a yeah, you can kind of see it. Well, here you go. This is actually a good view of it. You pull the crank, and the hot molten liquid would drip down, and it's good for molds. And what I was doing is I was trying to cast some like some art with it, and I was casting it in silicone molds, and it wasn't really coming out. These things, for any kind of molten molding that you want to do, you want to use the die cast metal molds. You don't want to use silicone, even though they make specific silicone that is temperature resistant, that will accept molten metal. But you know, the silicone that it didn't. So, but basically, I paid like $80 for this thing, brand new. It didn't work. I used it once. The things came out shitty. I ended up sitting on this for like 2 years, and I had it in storage. And I'm like, you know what? I'm sick of this thing. I had it on OfferUp. No one was buying it. I had a bunch of yeah, Diesel Engine is asking, is it you also use for casting lead bullets? Definitely for sure. Vintage is going, saying he's got to be up at 3:30. Jesus. Good night, man. It's good seeing you. 19 Vintage is awesome. We're doing a giveaway, or he's doing a giveaway, and on his Instagram channel, he's giving away actually a KDC scanner and a Dymo labeler. So if you guys aren't on his Instagram, go find it, check it out. Anyways, I think I took a best offer for like 30 something for this plus $17.99 shipping. I just wanted to get rid of it. If I had like a nice garage and I had like a studio or something, I probably would have kept this, because I could imagine like at some point in my life I would need this tool to be able to do something. So next up we have this Canon Rebel TI 300V 35mm camera SLR thingy with lens and stuff. This is a 35mm camera. For the young kids that don't know what the hell that means, it means film. There was actually a day where cameras actually took film, if you can believe it or not. Ain't anybody cool? How you doing? Welcome to the chat. Anyways, I paid like $10 for this. It was one of those things. And Marilyn Wilson is in the house. Hello. I paid $10 for this thing. This is one of those things where when I'm called and I got blurry, it's probably because bad connection or something like that. It'll be fine. You don't need to see me in Ultra HD. It's fine, unless the whole thing got blurry, which is, I guess that can happen too. But anyway, so I paid $10 for this. It's one of those things where I got called in Thrift Shop to look at some stuff and praise some things. They had this to the side. You want it? $10. Sure. Here you go. Thank you. Bye-bye. That's how fast it works. Sold this for $99 plus $11.99 shipping. Or I think that's how much this went for. I'm probably lying. I think I took a best offer for lower, but it was for the $10 put in. It was definitely a great thing. I cleaned this up as best I could. It was in amazing condition. I tested it as far as everything. It also came with a UV filter, funky lens cap. I think the lens was actually probably like a $50 lens as it alone. And it's I forget what they call the lens. There's a, oh man, I should know this. There's lenses that you can use both on film and digital. As you can see the little brackets there. Those are used for digital cameras, and you can put them on some digital cameras. I forget what it's called. It's like EMS, or God, I can't believe I can't remember this. Let me see if I actually wrote it down here. Nope, I didn't. Well, anyways, this is the lens you can swap out with digital, so people were able to Um, do that. See here. Oh God. Let's just talk about this guy in the chat real quick. It's probably Kareem. Anyways, the reason why he's not blocked, the reason why I did Kareem asked if he wanted to come on the show the other day, and look, to be honest, like no one likes him. So I'm not gonna bring him on a show with other people that don't like him. It's just not gonna work out. So sorry, dude. Like, um, it's just people. He said really like nasty things towards towards Reezy Resale's wife, and that's just not cool. So screw you. Anyways, Canon Rebel TS or TI, definitely look at film cameras. You can definitely find these things in thrift shops. You want to look at kind of for like the metal bodies too. Those do very well. I sell a lot of, oh man, I can't believe I forgot the name. It's not Nikon, it's the other one. I sell a lot of those. Minolta, I'm sorry. Minolta has some really good vintage cameras. Next up, we have Free Realms. This was actually a game that you can play online in like 2008, 2009. And it was a cool game. I was part of the community. I was one of the Sony community, I don't know if they call it like community reps or something. I had a title. I wasn't actually paid by Sony, but they let me, they gave me a bunch of free stuff, and I was able to distribute it throughout the community. I've been involved in a lot of crazy things over the years. You guys would be bored to death with that. So these, I can tell you, like, I wish I can like do a documentary on Free Realms. It's a whole other genre that I was a part of. Anyways, at one point, okay, so let me back up. Anyone that played World of Warcraft, there's like codes that you can buy for these cards that you can unlock stuff in the game. This Free Realms pack, there was one card in every pack that would unlock. Whoa, what the hell just happened? The thing just jumped. That unlocks like certain items, and some of those items would go for like $50 to $100 in Free Realms, if you can believe it or not. So at one point in the lifespan of this game, these packs were going for like $50 a pack, and I had boxes of these things. But unfortunately, I sold. Jason Vaughn's asking if I tried to promote listings that is now open for everyone. Yes, I have. I like it a lot. It gives me freedom to pick the different things I want to do. I like it. Justin Inventory, hello, welcome. Anyways, back to Free Realms. I sold a lot of my cards in the early part of the game. When Topps stopped making these cards, the packs were going for like $50 a piece, and I wanted to cry because I can't tell you guys. Diesel, I'm just saying, an influencer before it was a thing. Yeah, I worked on Free Realms as a community kind of influencer. I worked with Aya Judgment, which was another game that was for PlayStation 3. I ran one of the only fan sites that Sony actually sanctioned. Sony actually sanctioned me to make a promo card. So Sony Online Entertainment let me make a promo card for them. It was actually really cool. So anyways, Aya Judgment. Anyways, we're going off on a sidetrack here. I actually will show you guys the card that I made for Sony. I actually have it on eBay because I made a ton of them and gave most of them away. Here. There's actually a funny story with this card. So for anyway, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna sidetrack you guys a little bit here. It's gonna be story time with Thrift Shop Hustler. I'm sorry, this just has to be done. So anyways, I worked on with Aya Judgment before Aya Judgment was released to the North America, they call it. They showed this card game at E3, and what it was a card game that you put the cards down, the camera would scan the cards, and it would do augmented reality before it was even a thing. This game was way ahead of its time, let me tell you. So anyways, at that E3 conference, they made one special card for the CEO of Sony, and it was a rubber duck card. It was the only card in existence, and it was used. And the card has legendary status. The CEO had it pinned to his door in his office, from what I heard. When the CEO got fired or left or whatever, that card ended up in the trash. The card is probably worth, I don't know, $1,000, $5,000 if I would have sold it in the heyday of I Judgment. Diesel engine, we're almost done. I'm very sorry. It's late. It is late. Anyway, so Rubber Ducky story. So the card's gone, disappeared. I decided, why don't I make a promo card of the Rubber Ducky card? Sony approved it. We made a bunch of them. I have a bunch of them still, so I'm still selling them on eBay. I've been selling these on eBay for like, I don't know, 8 years, 6 years. They sell every once in a while, so I have them up. And now there's another story to add to the many stories that Thrift Shop Hustler has. Anyways, I miss I Judgment. It was an amazing game. Next up, we have Titanfall 2 for PS4. My son wanted to sell some of his games for another game, and so I said, why don't I just sell them on eBay instead of taking them to GameStop, which probably would have gave him 3 cents. There's a whole joke in the gaming industry about GameStop. It's like you take in like a, you know, like a brand new $50 game, and they want to give you like $3 for it. So it's like that. So definitely, this was a used game. Sold this for like $10. Took the best offer. Wanted to sell this real quick. Titanfall 2, pretty fun game. Anyways, I'm Chris, the Thrift Shop Hustler. I kind of right. Paisley Bradley says, write down your stories for your kids. You're actually probably right, because the stories in my head, no one's probably ever gonna know, and that's the saddest part about my stories. So anyways, I'm Chris, the Thrift Shop Hustler. If you enjoyed my rambling, please click the like button. Let's see here. I personally don't. Okay, so this is actually interesting. Tracy Div saying, personally, I don't care, but do you feel people are turned off by the hands in the photos? And that is actually a good question, because I've actually had resellers give me criticism for that, and I don't care. Like, whoa, that was loud. I don't care. Like, it's just easier for me to hold the thing and angle it. Hey, reseller Niche Mo's in the house. What's up, dude? I can angle the product in a way where there's no glare, instead of like putting a static item down and then manipulating my camera equipment or anything. It's so easier for me just to grab it, take a picture, and be done. For me, I don't care. I just want to show you guys what's in the photo, you know. And if my hand's in there, the only thing is I try to clean my nails, because who wants to see gross, like a fingernail junk and everything. But yeah, I've been criticized for my photos. People have said, oh, they're not professional. I don't care. I do this for a hobby. I still sell stuff. You know, maybe I'll put my foot in them next time, just for a little bit of flavor. Anyways, I love you guys. Chris, Thrift Shop Hustler, signing out. And definitely click the like button if you enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed my ramblings, and definitely subscribe to the channel. Click the bell button, and you guys have been really great in the chat. I really appreciate it. You guys have a good night and have a great week selling. Don't forget to list. Thrift Shop Hustler, signing off.